What's up, guys? Today I'm in Marinette, Wisconsin at Nest Egg Marine, and today I'll be working with the DNR, kind of filming what they're doing to help the walleye population. We'll be doing some shocking today in the river. You'll be seeing some big fish being pulled out of the water. It's going to be a fun time.
So we have our other crew out of Green Bay is shocking up with their boat right now. We try to avoid the anglers. Nothing like last spring when all 10 or 12 gates were open.
That was unbelievable. I get a lot of lures right out here. Find a lot of the old bottles up over there. Oh, okay. And buttons. Find a lot of buttons. Love my buttons. Okay, we're on. Let's get some walleyes. Sure, a lot under here. Wow. Yeah. Female. You guys are coming right out of here. Whoa, my. We picked up a lot of the red females right here. Oh, that is a pain. See, 3 right there. Wow. 4.
Gotta get this wet diving.
Should have worn the wetsuit. How many can you fit in here about before you're done here?
We'll put, depending on the size and everything, but 50 to 60 fish.
I think I see a lure down there. Don't want to hop in now.
Oh. They come around.
Pretty fun.
Passing up a lot of the males.
Nice one. Look at that. I like it.
Female over here,
2 females? What's the biggest distinction between a male and a female walleye?
Well, basically, the way we're sexing them is the males, they're expressing Milt, and, females, have this big, full-bodied female, and you can call it usually as a hard female or whatever, but, when they express eggs, it comes down to that. I mean, we can sex them during the time that they're spawning, basically. Alive.
Really nice size ball.
What Justin did with his GoPro, he put it up there. I'm like, I hope you don't knock it in, because I'll just call in the diver if I do.
Can't make it appear. Okay, we're going on. Nice grab.
There's another girl. You may need your help, Tammie.
Okay, we're off. Nice job.
That's the most fun I had in a long time.
Is that right?
So I have to say that was better than fishing.
Yeah, it is. As you can see, sometimes when we do this all day, it's a little discouraging to come out with a rod and reel, but we know they're here. We did have someone call the DNR on us a couple of weeks ago, saying there's a boat that's out there netting walleye in a boat. Well, the warden, figured it was us. So.
Call the DNR on the DNR.
Right, yeah, it happens once in a while. All the anglers understand what we're doing, but are very cooperative overall. Trying to get fish to keep stocking more fish in the lake.
Well, that's a cool job. Good.
Kind of day to be out here, though, I'll say.
It is a beautiful day.
We've been out taking as many days as we could, and yesterday we had a few ripe fish, a handful of spent fish, so they had already were done spawning, but more hard fish, and we're like, how will the timing be? We weren't quite sure, but we don't want to miss it. So the hatchery said, let's give it a try, and if we have to come back the next day or the next day, we will. We're off off to a good start, so I'm hoping we can get what they need. I think they were talking of getting eggs from 30 or more females between Wild Rose Hatchery and Mulling Hatchery. A few more runs and hopefully we'll get closer to that. Every day is, memorable in one way, shape, or form. We go through a lot of safety training. Safety is number one in the DNR. When the situation is bad or the weather's bad, we wouldn't go out. So we weren't out last week during all those high winds and storms and everything like that. Last year when we were spawning walleye is when almost all the gates were open. It was like a 100-year record flood level at the dam. We could not go where we were today last year. There's so many walleye around that we were able to get them on the fringes, even like down here along the edges. We were able to collect walleye and still stay safe and not be in the dangerous flow areas of the river. We never really had a situation that I've been involved in. I've been a biologist for 17 years that I really felt worried at all.
What's the biggest walleye that you guys measured out of Menominee River here?
Did we have a 30-inch walleye?
This week.
Yeah. So there's a few over 30. When an angler catches one, that's a pretty big deal. They're not overly common. I mean, we've handled hundreds of walleye in the last several weeks, and we've only had 2 over 30. So those are extremely a trophy fish, but they're around. The bay produces some nice trophy walleye.
Native lampreys and invasive lampreys, how do they affect the walleye population?
We don't really see a lot of lamprey wounds on walleye. The nice thing about walleye is that with their scales, which are so rough, the lamprey just really don't attach to them as well. Like we'll see them more on sturgeon. Of course, lake trout being one of the primary targets. Brown trout, we'll see them on Chinook salmon. We really don't see much sea lamprey wounds on walleye, or even there are native lampreys as well, but we don't see them all too often on these fish. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is always doing sea lamprey control surveys and control efforts to try to keep the sea lamprey numbers in check. Lampreys are more sediment oriented, and so we really don't shop them using this equipment, and they're probably not in the same areas that we're targeting some of these fish, which are kind of more rocky areas. But I know Fish and Wildlife Service has traps at many of the dams that trap some of the adults, and that's how they do their surveys and some of their control efforts. It's going to work out well just to have these 2 boats sort of tag teaming it. Good luck.
Have fun out there.
No, there's more there.
They're filming on that boat too.
Yeah.
We're gonna head over there next, unload all these fish, male and female.
So we were throwing back the hard females, the females that weren't quite ready to give up their eggs. But now with this batch, we're gonna actually tag fish, so you'll get to see that too. So if it's not something that the hatchery needs, we'll tag it first and then throw it back. Originally, we weren't sure how long it would take us to get some females, but now that we're kind of getting some females, now we can do some more tagging. We have around 200 or 300 more walleye to take in the Menominee River yet this spring, so we'll start to pick away at that a little bit more today. Oh yeah,
Yep.
right.
Male.
This here is a tagged walleye. You can see the red tag on there, and you guys offer $100 for information on these, right?
The red tags, as you said, are $100 reward tags. There's an email address on them, so if an angler catches it, you don't have to necessarily harvest it. We just ask if you were going to harvest it. If you were going to release it, release it. Don't let the tag affect what you were going to do. Email the information, where you caught it, generally a length if you have that information, and whether or not you kept it or not, so that we know if it's still swimming out and about to be caught for a future time. We have also thousands of yellow and green tag fish swimming around out there. Those are non-reward tags, but we're still interested in learning where you caught it, how big it is, any information if you harvested it or not. What we're really trying to do is get an idea of the population of the walleye in Green Bay. It kind of helps feed our population model to get a handle on what's going on out there. So any anglers that help with this information will help to kind of inform future management of walleye. And we have a very great fishery of walleye in Green Bay, and we're hoping to keep maintaining that throughout time. Our plans this year are to take 5,000 walleye. We plan to do around 1,500 walleye in the Menominee River. We're just a couple hundred shy. Maybe we'll finish up in the next few days. 1,500 in the Fox River, and that was completed last week. 500 in the Oconto is done. 500 in the Peshtigo. The crew is planning to go out tonight after dark once the anglers can't fish down there and finish up the Peshtigo. And then 500 over in the Sturgeon Bay area. So this is a multi-year study. Been going on for quite a few years. And the email address is on the tag. There's also a unique tag number that will be very important that you report. Should you catch a red-tagged walleye, please take a picture of that tag if you can to verify that you caught it, especially if you didn't keep the fish. And that way we know that this was indeed a verified red tag. Walleyes for Tomorrow is our cooperator. They're the ones actually fronting the money for the $100 reward tag. So we're thanking them for all of their help in keeping this study going. So what we're doing today is a little bit different from the tagging study. We're collecting eggs and milt for walleye for our Wild Rose hatchery. And this is a Lake Michigan strain of walleye that will get stocked in many different lakes in northeast Wisconsin, all within the Lake Michigan drainage. The hatchery crew is here collecting eggs from females that are ripe and ready to spawn. They'll fertilize the eggs right on site, disinfect the eggs, and bring them back to the hatchery where they'll be raised. In the fall, September, October is when they'll be stocked out into many different inland lakes in northeast Wisconsin. Later on this morning, we also have Mole Lake Tribe coming down from Forest County, and they'll also be collecting eggs here as well. They raise fish that get stocked into lakes in northeast Wisconsin, up in their neck of the woods as well. Nice cooperative project that we've been doing for several years. So all of the walleye that get stocked in the Lake Michigan drainage are coming from here, the Menominee River, as their source.
So we're good on males.
Okay, so we'll take males then, I guess.
Our Gmail.
So this is one we'll take now. It's just over 27 inches. So we're putting this tag right here, and the tag has a 5-digit number. This is 17589, and then we're taking an aging structure from so many fish per 10 millimeter bin. This is one we still need, so what we do is we clip the spine really close to the base of the fish, snip it off. It goes into a scale envelope, and then in the winter time, it'll get cross-sectioned, and it can be aged just like the trunk of a tree. We can tell how old that fish is. The tag number again was 17589, and then she's ready to go back over.
Ooh, right female.
We want that one.
She's going. She's close. Heart female.
727.5 inches. Tag 17590.
This one, no, right?
I think she's gone.
681.
Yes, we need it. Oh, you're trying.
That's what we're after. So we have a lot of our male ages already.
Male.
You can tell it's a male because of the way it is.
Well,
There's the male. They're running right now. If you caught this fish in a couple months, you wouldn't know if it was male or female, but now it's easy to tell.
ooh.
She's right.
She's right. Yeah, thanks.
One arm, I look away.
Male.
Okay. So I had just fertilized these eggs with the milt, and then added water to activate the milt. Then the eggs fertilized for 30 seconds to a minute, and now I'm decanting that water. And then you can see these eggs sticking to the side of the bowl.
Yep.
I'm going to add this tannic acid to the eggs, and this will break up that adhesiveness that the eggs have, so they won't clump together. And it usually takes about 6 minutes for this process to.
So they're pretty delicate. That's why you're using a feather to stir it, eh?
Yep, a turkey feather.
So what I'm doing is I'm trying to collect a bunch of the fluid from the ovarian fluid right there, and I'm collecting that with a small pipette, and we use that to send off to our lab, and then they can check for fish virology and other diseases. Obviously, one of the things we're concerned about is VHS or other diseases that could possibly come into our hatchery. So that's one of the things we're concerned about. So it'll go to our lab and they will check that, make sure none of the brood had any diseases. We usually send ours off to La Crosse. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has their own lab. And that's usually who does our testing. Otherwise, other states have other labs.
I'm the Director of Fisheries for the Mole Lake Tribe.
Wisconsin DNR and East District Fish Supervisor.
What do you like most about your job?
Oh, this is what I like, being outside and enjoying the outdoors and catching some fish. Unfortunately, I don't get to do this enough. I have to go in the office and spend too much time in the office, but that's work, I guess.
What do you like most about your job?
Probably raising lake sturgeon.
How big do those get?
Our yearlings right around 13 to 15 inches.
How old do they get actually?
I don't know.
Over 100 years old?
Probably, right?
Yeah. What's the biggest sturgeon you've seen?
Probably only a 130 pounder
Okay.
during sturgeon registration.
What do you like most about your job?
Yeah, just getting out in the field. I mean, I enjoy raising fish, but yeah, it's nice to get out in the field and be out and enjoying the stuff that Wisconsin has to offer. Being a good part of it, making
Good
fish
job.
better. So.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good job today.
Ready?
Okay. So it doesn't take very much Milt.
So that's the secret sauce for the fish to...
Yeah, that's the male gametes. Wipe it off so we try not to get any extra water in that bowl. So we're putting a little bit in there ahead of time, so if any water does get in there with the eggs, it will fertilize.
Why do you only just take a little bit just to get a variety?
It's work on the genetics as well as just so it's not as hard to clean up.
Thanks for having me.
Glad you could come.
That is a beautiful walleye there. Wow. Good catch. I'd say 31 and a half. I'm going to go down a half inch.
To learn more about what the DNR does to protect our environment and make it sustainable, please visit dnr.wisconsin.gov. Really hope you enjoyed our adventure today, and I hope you learned something new. Please help keep our waterways clean, and please report anything that's out of the ordinary or that seems suspicious.